together. I had to rewrite the list because I spilled water on the last one, and you might also notice that a few of the items are changed because due to time constraints, I had to do some of them before the random number generator picked them. Nonetheless, today we are doing number 16, Organize My Pantry. This is my pantry, and it's gotten to the point where I can never actually find anything when I need it. So I'm going to start by taking everything out and cleaning the shelves. And done. Alright, time to wipe it down. Next, I'm going to fill these little containers with flour, sugar, brown sugar, and salt. So I've decided to put everything that I consider to be backstock on the bottom, including water, flour, sugar, oil, baking soda, and vinegar. On this shelf, I've decided to put all pastas, potatoes, rice, popcorn, and canned goods. Baking shelf. Alright, and all the snacks, chips, cookies, crackers, and candy are going on this guy. And finally, cereal and everything else went on the top shelf. And we're done. See y'all tomorrow.
Day 1 of renovating our pantry during quarantine, also organizing. We moved in this house a few months ago and still haven't gotten our shit together, as you can see. My husband emptied out the pantry while I created an inventory of pantry foods, measured all the pantry storage space, and ordered appropriate size containers. This pantry was so messy, it took forever to clean it out. We found a lot of things that we thought were lost forever. Oh, and did I tell you, this is the husband my parents arranged my marriage to about 15 years ago, and I said yes? Well, you can see how much I'm being abused and how utterly unhappy I must be. Sarcasm aside, the secret to a happy, everlasting marriage is to find out each other's love language and speak it. Can you tell what my husband's love language is? Yep, acts of service. Whether your marriage is arranged or love, after 2 years, it's all the same. The intoxicating stage of love is over and reality has set in. And now you have to choose to love and accept each other. Alright guys, day 1 is done. Tomorrow is woodwork. Day 2 of renovating our pantry. Yesterday it went from this to this, and today my husband is doing woodwork. We are removing some shelves to make room for taller pantry items. These 15-year-old skinny shelves looked so dated and totally needed a facelift. They were also sagging and needed some extra nailing to make them more sturdy. My husband bought 1.5-inch primed MDF from Lowe's and decided to frame the shelves. First, he measured all the shelves and cut the MDF with his miter saw. He says, measure twice, cut once. He then used a pneumatic nail gun to nail in MDF on every shelf and divider. After nailing MDF on all the shelves, he then went ahead and caulked the edges. He filled the nail holes with wood putty and gave the entire pantry a fresh coat of white paint. Total cost $50, 2 days of work. Day 2 is done. See you tomorrow. Day 3 of renovating and organizing our pantry. We started with this, and by the end of day 2, it looked like this. My husband emptied out the pantry and put everything in the kitchen. He told me he would clean it floor and decided to give him another chance. I had to go pick up containers I ordered online for curbside pickup, and he told me it would be done by the time I came back. It was a bad day to be driving outside. I had to drive to 2 locations an hour away. I wanted to limit the kids' screen time, so I took them with me. They were miserable. Things didn't go as planned, and I came back home after 4.5 hours to this. And organizing our pantry. This pantry looked like this, and by day 2 it looked like this. Day 3 was a disaster, and the kitchen still looks like this. Well, the secret to still staying married is to not kill your husband over this. The top reasons why people get divorced over are poor communication, falling out of love, infidelity, abuse, addiction, money matters, and conflict over parenting. I don't care if you're married for love or your marriage was arranged like mine. Just know that all marriages can fail regardless of their origin. And all marriages can succeed if you choose to love each other every day, respect one another, spend quality time together, and understand each other's love languages and try to speak them. So I had this vision of a nicely decorated pantry, which I have now. But here's the catch. I don't cook, hence all the containers are empty.
Nothing on fire.
question I always hear about my pantry is, what do you keep in all of those little drawers? Let me show you. The bottom row is always snacks for the kids. The next row is peanut butter, baking goods, extra spices, and popcorn. And the top row is more spices, baking goods, and just general health stuff. I love having a place to keep all of these little items tucked out of sight. Someone who loves to cook, I was so excited to be able to add this pantry to our new construction home. As you can imagine, I spend a lot of my time in here preparing 3 meals a day, 7 days a week for my family of 6. Plus, there always seems to be an extra mouth or 2 to feed. So I wanted to make sure that my design was not only beautiful, but very functional. There is literally a place for everything. That way, I'm not losing ingredients at the back of the pantry and they're going bad before I can find them, and I'm not overbuying because I can't remember what I have at home. By incorporating little drawers, big drawers, baskets, jars, and other containers, everything stays very organized and I know exactly what I have at all times. I want to share a space with you that I designed and created in my pantry. However, before I do, I want to keep it real with you. This is what I did to get it ready. It wasn't just sitting there pristinely clean and organized, waiting for me to share it with the world. So I took a moment, cleaned everything up, and here it is. So what did I create? This is a baking station inside my pantry, including my oven. Now, this is not the oven that was actually designed for this pantry. When we got to the end of the build, I couldn't afford the one that I wanted. So we had this one we had pulled out of a customer's home. So we just stuck it in the spot and it works perfectly fine. And hopefully someday we can afford to replace it. We included this hidden KitchenAid stand mixer. It's nice because it keeps it tucked out of view, but if you need it, it easily pulls up to counter height. I have all of my mixing bowls, measuring spoons and cups, everything I need to bake. Plus, I have this counter surface here so I can work while I watch my children playing out in the yard. So that's it. That's the baking station in my pantry. Let me know what you think.